Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and I was always told I had a voice for radio, so today I'm going to be showing you the end of the one-player mode of Pokkén Tournament. We have gone through the Green League, the Blue League, the Red League, the Chroma League, and the Iron League. I've got myself into the top 8, and as we do on these in the one-player mode, when you get into the top 8, you get to enter a single elimination 8-man tournament to see who will be crowned the winner of the league and get to go on to a promotion battle. Now, I'm using Chandelure, and somewhat depressingly, I realised today I'm now at a higher level with Chandelure than I am with Garchomp. I still consider Garchomp to be my boy. I still love me a little bit of Garchomp, but it's all about Chandelure now. So I'm against Brexon, and once again, it starts off, it's got to be the projectile attacks. That is the real strength of Chandelure. She gets in nice and close, and Overheat is such a beast of an attack. Now, it also does put your attack and speed down, and trying to overheat with a negative status condition is much, much worse. But it's worth doing it. Now, a hit of a Will-O-Wisp there, pop Brexon's attack down, and now I managed to hit with a Hex, which is a nice little grab attack you can do from distance, not unlike Sceptile's Giga Drain. Now, I call in Cresselia, my support Pokemon, and what she does, as well as giving me a bit more health, she gets rid of all those negative status conditions, and that allows me to do this again. I love Overheat, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of my favourite attacks with Chandelure. It's up an A, and I think it's a counter attack, but to be honest, it's just a super powerful attack. Chandelure does not like getting up close, but Overheat really, really helps out. Now, I get in nice and close here. I call in Reshiram. I love the Reshiram Cresselia team, but unfortunately, Brexon goes into Synergy Burst right as Reshiram comes along, and when you go to Synergy Burst, you get a couple of seconds of immunity in which you can't actually be hurt, and that's when Reshiram would have hit. However, I do get my own Synergy Burst, and I hit with my Burst attack, and it's looking pretty good. So lower attack, lower defense, and off goes Chandelure. And again, it's all about, and I get the perfect there. I know it might look like, well, hang on a second, it's just throwing out just throwing out projectiles. Maybe that doesn't look like the most fun, the most exciting way to play this game. But Chandelure is my character of choice at the moment, and this is the way to play Chandelure, at least as far as I found. Now, that's not to say Chandelure doesn't have other attacks. You saw me use Overheat, you saw me use Hex. There are things that Chandelure can do, but really it's the projectiles. The thing about Chandelure is there is a skill, and I'm hoping I'm learning this and getting better at this. There is a skill with Chandelure of using these projectiles. You don't just sit there and fire out that beam attack over and over again. Your opponent can run around it, jump over it, block it, etc. And then they can get in, and there's a level of vulnerability there when you're trying to use Chandelure's attack. His beam attack, his strong projectile, if you will. So now we get a bit of Pikachu Libre, and Pikachu Libre, as I'm hoping you've seen on some of my previous videos, as always, this is a series of Pokkén Tournament videos, so I would highly recommend that you go ahead and check out some of them. Pikachu Libre likes to get in close. He's got those I should say, as has been pointed out. Look at the heart on her tail. She's got them going. Now I try and get my Hexes, and I miss. She gets in a bit too close, but I hit with an Overheat. Now, I don't like using Overheat that quickly. I like using Overheat when I've got Cresselia ready to go, so that I can use Overheat and then immediately cure those status conditions. But I managed to hold her at bay until Cresselia is done charging up. My support gauge is full, Cresselia comes out, and unfortunately, in comes Pikachu, and I miss with the Overheat there. Overheat is a devastating attack. It's a wonderful attack, but if you miss with it, then you just have lower speed, lower attack, and Pikachu gets in here, and look at the amount of damage she is doing. Chandelure does not like your opponent getting in nice and close. Now, I managed to create a little bit of space there with that beam attack, and I managed to hit it again. I try a little bit of a Flame Burst there, and I miss with them, but even if I don't hit with a Flame Burst, it creates a bit of separation. It keeps them back. So off comes a Synergy Burst for Pikachu Libre, and I try the Hex again. I miss, but my opponent is not expecting a grab attack, and I managed to hit with a grab attack there. Now we see another Flame Burst there, and it does miss, but again, it creates that separation. It allows me to fire a few projectile attacks out, and now I've got Reshiram. Reshiram he comes slowly. He charges very slowly, but he's got a powerful attack. And I'm going to try and wait till Pikachu Libre gets in nice and close so I can hit, here we go, with the maximum Reshiram. And in a patch that was released recently for Pokkén Tournament, Reshiram was actually nerfed because initially he was a little bit too powerful. Now, with a lot of characters, I don't really like the Reshiram and Cresselia combo. Cresselia doesn't do enough. But with Chandelure, you've got those negative statuses from your overheat, and Cresselia is wonderful at fixing those, because remember, overheat is a terrible attack when you're affected by a negative status. So I've worked my way in nice and close. Chandelure, you've got to be in close to use his burst attack, but I get in close enough to do it. And now it's just a case of finishing off, trying to throw out some projectile attacks, making sure Pikachu Libre never gets close enough to take me down. Because one of the things I find, I know I'm against a computer here, but I am, of course, playing on a high difficulty. This is about as difficult as the one-player mode gets. And like I said on my previous video, some players have gone to kind of Mewtwo and Shadow Mewtwo, the naturally more powerful characters. Now, I believe Shadow Mewtwo actually did have an infinite attack, which was essentially unblockable. Now, I believe that's also been fixed in one of the latest, in the latest patch. But I'm trying to do it with Chandelure here, and when your opponent gets in close, they can really knock out some big damage, getting all of these combos going, so you've got to be careful here. Now, what I love about this, it's come down to Garchomp. I've taken down Brexen, I've taken down Pikachu Libre. Now I am against Garchomp, and you'll know, of course, that I'm hoping anyway from my previous videos, Garchomp was he was my bae at the beginning. He was the one. He's been, I suppose, pushed to the side for Chandelure, so it's only appropriate that Chandelure should come out, ladies and gentlemen, which is awesome. Go, you know, against Garchomp. So I hit of a Hex nice and early there. I like Hex as an attack. You've got to be a little bit careful, and I believe it does actually get rid of their negative statuses, if I remember correctly. Now I try and go for an overheat there. Not an overheat, sorry, a flame burst. I miss it, and he actually manages to get in close, and look what happens here. Now I try and go for a counter attack, but I miss with it, and some combos, finishing off with Dig. Dig is a really good combo ender for Garchomp, and he's made it a very close game. But I've got my projectiles going again, and I'm going in close here. I hit with my overheat. Goodbye, Garchomp. So here, I've got my Reshiram going again. He's very slow charging, but I've got the cheer skill that means that the one I don't use, if I win, will be fully charged at the beginning of the next fight. So a hit of a Will-O-Wisp nice and early. It's something that I like to do because it means that I can put my opponent's attack down. And so if they do get in close, they're doing a bit less damage, which of course is the big downside of Chandelure. Now I get in really close there, and I get the maximum amount of damage here with my burst attack. Now you'll notice I charged back and strong attack there to do the attack where Chandelure charges across the screen. It's an attack I like, but even if you don't use it, it's a way just to get across the screen. So it's a nice thing to do rather than just running forward and risk getting hit. Now obviously your opponent can counter it, but it's still a nice way to kind of go across the screen. And I hit with an X there, an X, that's not right, an Hex, I should say, and Garchomp goes down. And it makes me a little bit sad, ladies and gentlemen, because Garchomp's my boy, and I'm comfortable saying that Garchomp's my boy, and it just makes me a little bit sad that I have to take him down. But there's kind of a beautiful poetry here, that Garchomp was my boy throughout the beginning part of this process, going through the game, and then at the end of the tournament, to go on to face the Grandmaster, all of a sudden I've now got to take down Garchomp for my chance at this shot at the Grandmaster. Hey ho, sorry Garchomp, I still love you. I'm going to start going online with these videos very, very shortly, and Garchomp will be a guy that I use very, very regularly online. One of the things about Garchomp is, I suppose, playing the game on a high difficulty level, maybe it's paranoia on my part, but I find it's very easy for the computer to... Did you see what she did there? Very best like no one ever was? Yeah? Good on her. I find, you know, you attack, they counter, you counter, they grab, you grab, they attack. The attack triangle is something that I think on higher difficulties the computer is pretty good at taking advantage of. But now, ladies and gentlemen, the Grandmaster fight.
I'm the current Grandmaster, which means, I guess, I'm the best at firm battles. But I've heard you two are pretty strong. You do look confident.
So apparently she's feeling pretty confident. She is the best. And gonna be honest, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a huge amount of humility here. Now, admittedly, she's got the title of Grandmaster, and giving someone a title as grand as Grandmaster is, you know, I suppose it's going to lead to a bit of hubris on their part, but I'm hoping to bring her down a little bit, a peg or two here. I think she's a bit big for her boots. I am going to hopefully beat her Pikachu, metaphorically and literally, and come out as a new Grandmaster, and I hope I'm going to be more humble in that role. So Alyssa here, she's got her Pikachu, and straight away, it's ranged attacks. I do not want that Pikachu getting nice and close. Ranged attacks are a go. Again, that Flame Burst is not hitting very much, but even when it doesn't hit, it forces your opponent to stay back, and when you're playing a Chandelure, getting them to stay back is a good thing. So Pikachu is using some of those ranged projectiles, making sure that he can do those things from far away, and look at that overheat. That was an immense overheat. Cresselia's ready to go, and now this is, as long as I don't fall prey to a massive combo, it is a foregone conclusion. It can be hard commentating these games sometimes when they go quite so quickly. So, now I've got my Reshiram. I've won round one. My burst gauge is very close to being full. I'm feeling pretty good about this, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a hit with that attack, but not... Actually, I don't hit with that attack. It gets countered. Oh, what's that, Pikachu? You're nice and close. In comes Reshiram. And one of the things Reshiram does, as well as lots of damage, he puts he puts the attack of Pikachu down. Now, I do hit with that attack. I get my Synergy Burst. I might go for that again. Nope, I'm just running straight in, getting my burst attack, and it's going to do a fair amount of damage. I'm putting myself in a very good position here, ladies and gentlemen. I am liking how this fight is going. Now, Pikachu's not down yet, and let's remember, Chandelure's weakness is Pokemon getting close. I finally hit with a Flame Burst. I've been trying to do it all tournament, and I finally hit with it. I miss with my counter attack. He comes in with a regular attack, but I've got that charging attack over, and I'm not hitting with a Hex. It's being countered, but that charging attack comes straight back out again, and Pikachu goes down. And ladies and gentlemen, I am the new Grandmaster. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit proud of myself, and I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure if I told my mum what I've achieved today, I'm pretty sure my mum would be proud of me too. Knowing her son is the new Grandmaster of the Ferrum League, I mean, what mother wouldn't be proud of their child under those circumstances? You know what? Nobody. And I've got a new title, Grandmaster, but remember the title I've been using all the way along, Invincible Myth. Yeah, you lost, Alyssa. Yeah, you lost. There's always somebody better than you, and you know what? It's my Chandelure. Maybe I'll give you a rematch in the future, maybe I won't. Let's see if you've learnt any humility from this. And there is a lesson in humility to be learned here. Just because you're at the top doesn't mean you're better than people. Well, I suppose it does in a literal sense, but in a humble sense, it does not. You know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you click that like button. Have you clicked it yet? Why do you hate me? Make sure you comment if you want to say anything about Pokkén Tournament, the Ferrum League, Chandelure, or any other character. Maybe there's a video you want me to make, chuck it in the comments, I'll see what I can do. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and get a friend to subscribe if you have. I'll be back shortly with profiles of all the rest of the characters in Pokkén Tournament, along with my new adventures playing online. The one-player mode is over, online is a go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, look after yourselves till next time. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.